Hello. I am Kevin856, and today we're going to be looking at cdinprov versus Lord Bakura. So, just a bit of setup before we have to get started, so gotta let the runners know we're about to get going. But other than that, looks like we'll be just about ready. Okay, the runners have been released, so in the meantime, I'm gonna go look at the card and see what we have. Random on the have set three. It's always enough. Days right off the bat. I don't see anything. Yeah, no day goals. Actually, no. Hold up. Everstone Goldberries and to defeat a Lapras. Wow, I really missed all the day goals. So, we will see our runners be setting Thursday night, and then be going to Friday morning with the day rollover. That's how day goals work. Other than that, I don't see anything that we need to keep a note of. We don't have any other berry goals such as Snore or 7 different types of berries. We will need to be looking out for normal types, and with a Pokemon with 4 non-TM, non-damaging on the card, we may see an early fly from either of our runners. So we see our runners getting started. Bakura talking to Mom, Cedin getting through the intro, and yeah, there we see Thursday going into Friday. So let's see what our starters are. We have Primeape, which is definitely usable. We see a Paris, which is not something you want to take. And then there's a Dragonite, which is the very easy choice. Now, Dragonite is one of those quad-weak Pokemon, quad-weak to Ice. However, Dragonite, usually we try to avoid running Pokemon with quad weaknesses, but, that's I'll get to that moveset later. But, yeah, we try to avoid quad-weak Pokemon, but Dragonite is one of those exceptions just because it's so good, you can get away with it. I mean, it is a pseudo-legendary, of course, based at a total of, 600? So... But yes, Horn Attack, Ancient Power, Double Edge, and Sky Attack, it looked like. So, Ancient Power, Double Edge, and if it is Sky Attack, then that's Stab, and that is definitely a perfectly runnable Dragonite. So Sky Attack, not the best move, neither is Double Edge, but on a Dragonite, it's definitely usable. Sky Attack is Stab, and with the badge boost after Falconer's Gem, it's going to hit like a truck. Now, it does, of course, take 2 turns to charge, so that is the caveat of it. It might as well effectively be halved power. I think Sky Attack is base 140 power normally, so divide that by 2. Effectively, it's 70 power per turn. It's also not 100% accurate, but it's still Sky Attack on a Dragonite, so... And Dragonite is basically fast enough that you're going to be outspeeding most of everything, so effectively what this just means is, instead of going first, you're basically going to be pretending that you're going last if you could use Sky Attack. I'm being told, by my third pair of eyes, that Bakura's Dragonite is female. Yeah, so that will be a bit of a problem, however, it's still good enough. The attack DV that you would have if you have a female Dragonite, it does matter for sometimes, but more often than not, if it's gonna be a 2-shot, it's gonna be a 2-shot anyway. It's really only those very rare cases where if a Pokemon, say, lives at 1 or 2 HP, then that it matters. Okay, so, yeah, hold up. The colors are blank. I'm gonna go and try and fix that real quick. So while we get those written down, cdinprov is going to be the teal color, and Lord Bakura is purple. And there we see Cdin picking up the gold berry from the hidden item in front of Mr. Pokemon. So other than that, we're just going to be going back and forth a little bit until we really start to get to Violet City. So it's pretty likely that Bakura is going to maybe pop Repel, start blitzing, because this Dragonite is definitely usable. I am curious, however, if Cdin is going to opt to choose to look for a bit more Pokemon. It's kind of a bit of a trade-off, you see. It's kind of a bit of a trade-off to between if you want to get Pokemon early or if you want to blitz, because sometimes you might find a ton of good stuff. But if you waste a lot of time and you don't find anything, well then you've just wasted a lot of time that you could have been spending rushing to fly. Okay, the colors should be on there shortly. So yeah, one of the big advantages to finding Pokemon in this stage of it, since there's kind of a few stages of pre-Violet Pokemon finding. There's the stage of finding something immediately before you reach Mr. Pokemon, which, okay, most people will think, okay, that's definitely on Route 30. Then there's the stage of, okay, we're past Mr. Pokemon, around Rival 1, maybe a bit past. It could conceivably be on Route 30, Route 29, or Route 30, or Route 46. Either or. And then there's the stage after that, when you get to like 10 minutes in, and it's like, okay, there's a lot of different routes, something that you've just found could be on, because it could also be on 31, it could be in Sprout Tower, it could be Runes of Alph, 36, even Dark Cave. So the further you go before Violet, the more spots there are to check, and the harder it is to actually metagame where it is. So meanwhile, it looks like Bakura actually had some trouble against the Sunfloor. I was looking at the other screen in the meantime, but yeah, Sunfloor with Blizzard definitely going to give Dragonite a lot of trouble. Now, we can get around that if we miss, but Blizzard is definitely one of those moves that you do not want to see if you're a Dragonite. So looks like we might be getting a second commentator in shortly, so we're gonna go take a look at that, and then we'll continue. Dragonite learns Hydrogen, and now ready to continue. Hopefully with the higher level advantage, much easier time there. Meanwhile, we are now joined by Ladash. How are you today? Looks like the Dash's mic isn't quite working at the moment, but we do have.
I'm doing great. Sorry
there
about that.
welcome to the stream.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
So we see Cdin finding that Steelix that we saw a little bit earlier. I don't recall if Bakura saw it or if it was just on Cdin's side of the screen, but she's doing a pretty good job, not being too far behind of Bakura. Definitely can be difficult when you have such a runnable main, but you also want to find Pokemon on the card. So, what are your thoughts of the Dash, looking at the card and where our runners are so far?
Well, looking at this so far, this is going to be a pretty much a rush match, really, because we've got Black Belt Center.
Yeah, definitely. And coupling that with our Dragonite being the starter, both our runners seem to be pretty keen on using it. It's definitely just going to be a blitz, 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 and try and get that sub 40 fly, maybe even.
Yes.
So, Improv going into the first trainer. We'll see if she has a bit of an easier time against that Sunflora, or if she falls into the trap of Sky attacking it and then getting O-code by Blizzard.
It's an easy one to fall into.
She goes for the double edge. It does OHKO, so she's not going to have the same issues that Bakura did. Meanwhile, we did see a Charmeleon in the gym, Charmeleon being the bottom left corner goal, so that's useful information. And speaking of useful, this is Nidorino that Improv is running from. Ooh, that's a bit of a dangerous move. Dangerous, of course, because that's a free stone evolution, and we see evolve 4 different Pokemon on the card, so it's always useful to, when you see a Pokemon that you can just toss a leaf or a moon or any kind of stone on, just pocket it, save it for later. Because even if you don't end up needing that goal, even if you don't evolve it, there's always other uses for goals like that. And for catching Pokemon, such as it might have 4 non-TM, or it might have a speed-reducing move.
Yeah, this decision will matter late game.
Yeah, we also saw, it looks like it was a Sentret. Sentret's also another really good Pokemon to evolve. Also a normal type, so. And speaking of normal types, that's a Fearow. I'm actually curious as to what Improv's plan is. Maybe she isn't satisfied with the Dragonite. Bakura, on the meantime, looking at what he's got a Poliwhirl, that's a free evolution, and he's got this this Dragonite, which is definitely ready to maul things down. Hey, it's one of our fan favorites, Delibird. Bye-bye, Delibird. And there's another buddy. Good old Teddy Ursa. Particular favorite of some people in the community. It's also a normal type, so definitely useful to have. Regardless, it looks like Improv is going to be also catching a few normal types with this Doduo. It's got Rollout though, gotta be careful. Could Rollout sweep, and Improv actually deciding, okay, that's a bit too risky. She could have afforded with tossing 1 extra ball on it, but sometimes better safe than sorry. Who knows, might have crit. Meanwhile, Bakura looking at the Blossom, seeing Constrict. I didn't actually realize Constrict was a move that lowered speed, but we all saw the description right there, so marking that goal off. Other moves that lower speed included our Icy Wind, Bubble Beam, I think there's 1 or 2 more that I can't think of off the top of my head. speed reducing move is definitely one of those newer goals, so some of us are a bit not too used to looking out for those particular types of moves.
Yeah, having trouble seeing if there's anything else on my end with the speed moves. I definitely didn't know Constrict was one of them. That's gonna be in my notes here.
Improv now making her way through the gym, finding that Charmeleon. As Bakura finds TM46 in the Ruins of Alpha, sorry, Union Cave, second floor, which, yeah, I mean, that's no real point in hiding it, not that you can, but definitely a nice goal to not have to worry about later on.
That's great finding TM46 this early. Not really a corner goal, but it's still nice to have because that could be one of those things that you could have not found it late game.
Yeah, and looking at the rows and columns that's on, we see on the column we have Lapras, which is a free goal, 7 Berries, which is a free goal, which I missed earlier when I said there didn't seem to be bear goals, but there are actually 7 different types, so I presume Bakura has been picking those up. And meanwhile on the row, we also have Sunny Day, Black Belt, free goals. Normal type's a bit less so, but we've seen a lot early on, so what I'm trying to say is, if we find either one of those poke, Mantine, Skarmory, Fortress, or Artillery, it's a free line, effectively. So Bakura heading into the well, as Improv fights Falconer. Now this Kabutops is a slight bit of a problem. It's not exactly the Pokemon you have a lot of coverage for, but it's good enough. Hydro Pump. Strong enough neutral. Suicune, on the other hand, definitely going to take a few hits. Unless you crit. Improv
wow.
Also,
Gets the crit.
yeah, Improv also not having much trouble. So she's going to be strolling through Union Cave shortly and picking up the TM of her own. So, bit of a shopping trip at the exit of Violet. I personally try to avoid shopping there if I have to, since you're usually going to shop in Azalea once you get there anyway. Azalea, of course, has got your super potions, also got escape ropes and repels, and you're going to have a bit more money because you picked up items along the way, so really it's those super potions, though, that matter. But sometimes you do have to shop in Violet City also if you need an escape rope for the tower, or for the Ruins of Alpha, like we see Improv doing, or if you're just low on repels. Meanwhile, this Dragonite is really making quick work of this Slowpoke well. Hardly faltering. And I mean, that's a Dragonite for you. Now, we do have a level 14 Bear, though, so this will probably survive a Double Edge. And responds with a Double Edge of its own, oh my!
Ooh.
That's a terrifying sight. Fortunately, Dragonite, also pretty bulky in its own right, able to survive handedly. So back here, opting for a personal favorite of his, Right Twin. These twins do have 2 different Pokemon, depending on which side you choose to fight. It's a Randomizer exclusive, that little quirk, but on the right side we see a Zapdos. Nice bit of EXP, followed by an Espeon. Meanwhile, Improv getting a little bit bodied by encounters on the way to Route 32. And look at all these items we're finding. We already found a gold berry, we find a free berry juice on the ground, and I saw Bakura picked up an Everstone in Union Cave. All of the items we want to find on the ground.
Yeah, this is making things really convenient earlier.
Yeah, it's a shame that some of these aren't on the card, especially with the EXP share also that we just see.
Yeah.
Bakura taking a little bit of an opportunity to heal quickly before we start Bugsy's gym. Sorry, the Bugsy fight itself with a Hitmontop. Meanwhile, Improv opting to pick up a Spinnerack, which not a particularly early evolve, but it's definitely doable. I think it evolves at around level 20, so if you need to evolve it, you can. Bakura is paralyzed, so if this last Pokemon is troublesome, it's Hitmonlee! Oh no, we've got Paratract. I was about to say Parafusion, but we've got Attract instead. One of the very rare instances where the gender actually matters, aside from just attack DVs. Improv opting to fish in Union Cave. Let's see what we find. That is a Nidoqueen. A good poke, if you need to main switch, but we won't be main switching off this Dragonite, so just going to see it, wave goodbye. Meanwhile, let's talk about what this rival is going to be doing to Bakura. So far, it doesn't look like it's going to be doing much. Now, Bakura is still paralyzed, so you do have to be careful about that. And the difficulty of using a move like Sky Attack when you're inflicted with a status like Paralysis or Confusion or Attract, same applies for that, is you have to break through 2 of those. So if you're paralyzed on either turn you use Sky Attack, the entire attack will fail. So it's always a bit of a risk when you have a 2-turn move and you're inflicted with that. Because the odds drop from, like, what, 1 and 2 to 1 and 4.
Yeah. Didn't even matter for Bakura. Lord Bakura just took it out.
Meanwhile, Improv is getting bullied by an Ivysaur, which that Ivysaur is on the card, so definitely a very strong reason to want to catch this Pokemon. Now, it might be a little bit tricky for Bakura to realize, oh hey, this is here, but maybe he'll be able to do it. Bakura should be aware that Improv is that she's definitely a newer runner. So typically we see newer runners are on average further behind. So Bakura might be able to metagame based on that, but still, just knowing, okay, she's a bit further behind than me probably, that still leaves quite a lot of ground to cover. But here's a play that I find interesting. Bakura's actually skipping Headbutt. So Headbutt is it's a really good, just general attacking move. It doesn't provide any extra super effective coverage, but it allows you to hit most things neutrally. And when you have a very strong physical attacker, it's pretty invaluable. However, when you look at what we have here on this Dragonite, it seems that Bakura is pretty happy with its moveset. speaking of getting bullied, that Ninetales, encountered Dragonite, didn't want to let it go, and then yelled at it.
I did not.
It's probably the first time I've ever seen you be grateful that the opposing Pokemon had Roar. So, as we've already found both an Everstone and a Goldberry on the card, there isn't really much of a reason to do the butt-catching contest for goals. However, there is always the option that, okay, maybe there's a Pokemon in the contest, and I'm going to try anyway as a bit of a YOLO play. But Bakura opting to instead go for the just the quit strats immediately to teleport to the other end of the national park. I think it saves like 1 or 2 seconds. I tried timing it. It's pretty similar in terms of speed, but it's definitely a strat that is popular.
If he's collecting berries, he might be going for Snore.
There isn't really much of a reason to go for Snore, as it's not on the card, but we do see 7 different types of berries. So, the key allowing that is, we do see, it looks like a Miracle Berry that Bakura must have picked up off the ground, and we see Improv also holding that. Usually it's hard to find a Miracle Berry or get 7 different types of berries before you get the Burnt Berry. So why don't we talk about who's in the lead? Who do you say is in the lead of the dash?
Alright, well, if I had to put it out there, I mean, goal-wise, Improv is actually pushing it a lot better than I expected, but Bakura, he's making great time. I mean, we were talking, he's already at the 3rd gym here, 25 minutes in.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the advantages of running your starter, if your starter is good enough, because you will save many minutes from having to catch another Pokemon, and then the Pokemon you catch is usually lower level than your starter, and then it's just kind of an uphill climb from there. So looking into the gym, we've got a Heracross that is going to drop to a Sky Attack. No ifs about that. We are level 21, which is pretty high level for Whitney. We see that bonus EXP from starting at a higher level coming into advantage. And Bakura sees the Steelix now, so if Bakura didn't see it early on, now he knows, okay, I can definitely get a Steelix. Once he dexes it, of course. And we see Wobbuffet actually is Whitney's ace. With Stab Psychic, that's not going to really hurt much. And it's not too often you actually one-shot a Wobbuffet with a neutral move, so this Dragonite is absolutely on fire. Improv opting to take the safer route of depositing all the items she wants to keep for later. Definitely a wise move if you're not too sure and might accidentally sell stuff, because I personally have definitely lost and thrown away many races from accidentally slipping and selling the wrong thing.
There's been a few on my end as well. Like, that's a great security move.
Improv picking up a few more items before heading into Slowpoke Well. Taking a safety save. Definitely worth it to save a bit more often when you're running a quad-weak Pokemon, such as Dragonite. Usually you don't typically see a save here, but you never know. Improv opting to double edge the Kabutops. Hydro Pump would definitely do more damage, but a few double edges will muscle through it. And it looks like Improv actually is opting to evolve the Oddish via the EXP share, so this is definitely a viable option. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. And actually, hold up, I just realized Improv does not actually have Hydro Pump on her Dragonite. She did not teach that. hold up. Improv is also evolving the spin rack. Oh my. So why do you talk about why that is perhaps not a wise play?
It's going for the long haul. I mean, we're talking about you have to get 13 levels here before it gets its first level evolution. It used to have 3 more to do.
Yeah, and the bigger issue I would say with evolving the spinner act, as well as the Oddish, is you yourself are going to be underleveled. You're splitting the experience 3 ways, so your Dragonite is going to be very underleveled very quickly, and that's definitely the bigger issue. Usually, you can definitely get away with evolving one Pokemon, for instance the Oddish. It evolves at like level 16. That's pretty low level. You can get away with that easily. But then, adding on the spin rack onto that, this Dragonite is going to be struggling. And we can see that already in play, because Improv is already like 1 or 2 levels lower than where Bakura was at this point. Because Bakura is already level 23 in the middle of the Kimono Girls, which is extremely high leveled for this part of the game. So something I do wonder about is, well, aside from all the rock types that we're seeing Improv run into, definitely a reason to keep a water move such as Hydro Pump on your moveset. I wonder if Bakura is actually going to be teaching Surf over Hydro Pump. What are your thoughts, the Dash?
I think he would, but I could be wrong. But personally, I think it would be a good move because Hydro Pump is I still has that accuracy drop, and as with notoriously with Pokemon games, any accuracy drop can be a gamble.
Yeah. Hydro Pump having 80% accuracy, so not the best, but it's a very strong move. So I was thinking about it. I think what I would do in this position is I would go until I run out of Hydro Pump PP, and then I would teach over it for Surf. Because I mean, Hydro Pump is definitely just as viable as Surf, even in bingos, even in competitive. Not that really matters much, but it's been a great debate for quite a while amongst many different communities. Hydro Pump, Surf, since you've got trade-offs for both. So
That's an interesting play.
Yeah, I don't think teaching Surf or not teaching Surf. I think both options are actually correct. One thing you might want to be a bit cognizant of is you do have Sky Attack and Ancient Power, actually. And both of those are also 5 PP moves. So with Hydro Pump on there also, you definitely have a bit of a PP issue. Bakura maybe recognizes that, immediately teaches Surf. And meanwhile, in Slowpoke Well, Improv looks like the double-edged bear did a bit more damage to her than it did to Bakura. This is definitely due to the missing 1 or 2 levels. Is Improv level 14? I wasn't paying attention.
We're about to say here.
No, she is still 13, so she is already 2 full levels lower than Bakura. And those 2 levels made a huge difference. Fortunately, though, 1 Sky Attack is enough to OHKO the bear, so it worked out on the second try. Bakura making pretty quick work of Rival 3. We do see the roamers. Unfortunately, we do have the audio on Improv side, so we will not be able to tell the roamers based on cry alone. But Bakura knows the cries really well, so we very well so may see him opt to escape rope out. I mean, he's going to escape rope out anyway, but opt to try and catch one of those roamers. And looks like Bakura is like, okay, none of these roamers are worth catching, which is definitely fair enough. When you've got this good of a Dragonite, you usually won't need to look for a new main. And the bigger thing to note is, presumably, neither of the two roamers were on the card. So, Bakura's taking a bit of a dip into Morty's gym. Shouldn't be too difficult. As Improv is definitely fighting through Bugsy's gym. Or wait, hold up. Is this Bugsy's gym?
Yes.
No, yeah, it was like, the music was wrong. This couldn't be Bugsy's gym. The only 16 is on Bugsy himself, but that was not the music. It was like, is this Rival? I don't remember Rival having a primate, but apparently Rival did. Now she's opting for Morty's gym. Sorry, Bugsy's gym. Bakura's the one in Morty's gym.
Cross-watching.
Yeah, we're playing one of those newfangled multi-worlds you hear about. Crystal Bingo multi-world. Regardless, Bakura easily sweeping through everything in Morty's gym. Nothing's standing in his path, so... But also we see there's actually not been a lot of info. We did see Clefable Wigglytuff on one of the trainers, so it looked like it was a required trainer, so that's going to be info. And, well, actually, as soon as I say it, look what we have on screen. Yeah, that's a Skarmory, which is definitely very much so what you want to see if you're Bakura. Because also Bakura has that super secret Zapdos info. I didn't mention it because honestly I didn't notice, but Zapdos is on the card. Row 1, column 3, so that is an absolute huge play actually that he chose to do right to win, and it paid off.
Exactly, especially with the steel typing. Like, yeah, we're talking about that corner go is going to be helpful for Bakura's case, especially pushing as fast as he is for the final badges here. Like Rising Badge being a corner go is huge.
Yeah, if I were Bakura, I would definitely expect him to try and skip Rising Badge. Although looking at what we see on the card, it might be optimal to actually get Rising Badge. I'm trying to think of Bakura's route. So we do row 1, we do column 2. If you do Rising Badge, that gives us column 5 and top left, bottom right, assuming you can get for a Kadabra. And then we just need one more, which might be row 5, might be bottom left, top right. It's kind of hard to pinpoint what a 5th bingo would be at this moment, but there's definitely a lot of options. Rising Badge is definitely in one of those places where you want to avoid it, but it's in a corner, it's on a diagonal, so it's like, you probably can't. Especially with the way the card is looking.
Yeah, considering Caller Blackwell is center go here, he's probably going to rush to that, and considering you'd be in there anyway, if at all possible, I would avoid Rising Badge, but there may be no avoiding it in this case.
Maybe. Well, maybe not. We find a wild Zubat that Bakura runs into, so this is definitely going to help immensely, because now that it makes bottom left, top right viable, I don't think Bakura... Actually, no, Bakura has Charmeleon info, so... And yeah. And also, we have the potential of row 2 and or column 4, so... Rising Badge skip is definitely viable, with just a little bit more information. At one point, I was briefly considering, okay, if we're doing Rising Badge, maybe we skip Fly. But typically, I mean, you don't want to skip Fly, and I don't expect Bakura to think he needs to either. But it's always a fun thing to theorize about.
Yeah, it's every time you play, it's in the back of your head. Do I do Fly? And in my case, I tend to always lean to Fly, but it was a power play.
Yeah, but Bakura, with defeat 6 swimmers on his likely path, since row 2 is looking extremely attractive at the moment, you're never gonna do defeat 6 swimmers and not pick up Fly. Now, defeat 6 swimmers is also one of those newer goals, so there's a bit of experimentation with the route, which 6 swimmers precisely you want to do. So I am curious to see what Bakura chooses. Now we have there are resources for. So Bakura should know exactly which spinners have the lowest amount of pokes, but always the order and exact number, or the exact swimming path you take, can vary. So, question in chat, why do people always name a Pokemon Kenya? Why don't you answer that, Ladash?
Actually, I'm actually curious myself why we always get Kenya.
So, Kenya is one of those static Pokemon. There are a handful of Pokemon that you can just pick up. You talk to a Pokemon trainer, and they just give you a free Pokemon. Kenya is one of those instances. Another one is Shucky, which we'll see Bakura probably pick up in Cyanwood. And the reason we always pick it up is just because it's a free Pokemon. Why not? It could be on the card. You don't know until you pick it up, and it's basically the equivalent to just getting a random encounter and having to catch it and catching a poke. Except it's faster because it's just given to you for free. You don't need to find it. You don't need to catch it. You just pick it up, look at it, and think, okay, is it useful or is it not useful? But speaking of useful, did you see what Bakura just defeated?
Yes, I did.
That was a Lapras, which is on the card. So very convenient that the swimmer had one there. Improv opting to pick up Headbutt for her moveset, looks like. And, oof, getting an encounter after 2 steps, that is really unlucky.
They're not opting to pick up the Nidoran.
I think at this point, Improv actually has enough Pokemon to evolve for. Unfortunately, she accidentally misses the NPC, jumps over the ledge, so it looks like she won't be picking up Headbutt. It's only a small improvement over Horn Attack, which is what she currently has, and of course, significantly less strong than Double Edge.
Price stings the most, the time loss, really.
Yeah. So Bakura is actually doing this particular route for the swimmers. This is a route that I also had thought of. Hasn't really been much discussion that I know of, but this trainer does, if I recall, only have 1 Pokemon, so definitely optimal to fight. So, question in chat, what are the major things that aren't randomized? Well, most things aren't randomized, but the things that are randomized are where Pokemon are, so every route in the grass there'll be 7 different Pokemon, there's 7 slots. What the Pokemon's movesets are, they're also going to be random, so it could be a complete hodgepodge, like we see on this Dragonite, having stuff like Ancient Power, Double Edge. I mean, some of those are definitely moves that Dragonite would normally learn. I don't know if Dragonite actually learns Ancient Power, though, so there's that. And it definitely doesn't know Hydro Pump, normally. That's a move that this Dragonite had earlier in the match. And the last major thing that is randomized are items on the ground. So Normally, oh, this Pokeball is a potion. Well, now it might be an amulet coin. Things like that. As well as also what TMs are what. So normally you think, oh yeah, TM34 is Sand Attack, I think. Or like Gust or something. Falcon's TM. Well, not anymore necessarily. But yeah, things that are not randomized would be the locations of trainers, routes, doors, badges. Those aren't randomized. As well as the amount of Pokemon that each trainer has is also the same. So here's Shucky, one of those aforementioned static Pokemon. We see it's a Gligar with no useful moves, but could be useful. Could have been. At the very least, it's a level 15 that you can throw out a wild to help catch or toss out to if you need to revive your Dragonite.
I think I'm a fan of.
Yeah, picking up these static Pokemon is always invaluable in certain instances when you're trying to go really fast. For instance, say you have to release your starter, and you only have, you just find something immediately, or maybe you're running your starter. It's like, okay, well, I need something to teach HMs to, but I don't want to take the time to catch a Pokemon. I'll just pick up one of the statics like Kenya. And it's like, okay, well now I've got a second Pokemon I can teach field moves to. So, sorry, as you were saying,
Improv going for the participation in the event here.
well, it's always fun to have a participation award. Crobat not going to be an important Pokemon. Snubbull, however, is important, because that is on the card. But yeah, continuing on with the train of what is randomized, so are Jim's Pokemon randomized? Well, you'll have to ask Jim that, first of all, and secondly, any Pokemon can use, or any trainer can use any Pokemon, so gyms are no longer type-themed, so... So yeah, in Vanilla you might say, oh yeah, Falcon's Gym, it's full of flying-type Pokemon. Well, that's almost certainly not going to be the case. If we see what Bakura's in, Bakura's normally in the fighting-type gym in Gen 2, and we'll see what this karate fighter has. He's got a Crobat, which is basically about as far you can get from fighting-type as possible. Double Crobat!
Double the Crobat. I think the only static as far as trainers is concerned is after the rival gets his starter, he sticks with that.
Correct. Now, what that starter is of course random. The 3 starters are completely random Pokemon, but whatever starter the rival picks, he will keep that throughout the game and eventually evolve it. And I'm looking at this this Dragonite. It is level 32 facing Morty. That is one of the absolute highest levels I've ever seen you face Chuck at, not Morty. Chuck.
Huge advantage here.
Meanwhile, on the flip side, Improv is level 16, which is probably level 17 now, which is on definitely the absolute lowest spectrum of levels to be at for Whitney. So with that, Bakura's through Chuck's gym with a very solid time of 47 minutes, so very, very solid. So now Bakura's going to be entering the cleanup phase, and it looks like this could actually be an extremely fast finish, depending on what Bakura does and or has. He's going to be teaching Fly over Sky Attack. Not necessarily a bad idea. Both of them are 2-turn moves. Both of them are not perfect accuracy. But Fly, I mean, you need to teach Fly anyway, and Sky Attack has a less PP, so it's not a terrible idea. At any rate, you're almost done battling anyway, so... It looks like Bakura taught the Comet Punch to him to the Teddy Ursa, so that's 4 normal types on that. And now Bakura gets Kadabra info on the Ucine fight, so everything really working out in his favor. Since we will probably see, based on this, Bakura is interested in encountering Suicune on Route 42, so why don't you tell us how that works?
Well, so since he's encountered Suicune here, Route 42, he's gonna encounter the Suicune. Traditionally, like if that Suicune was if defeat a level 40 Pokemon was on the card, you'd absolutely prep for it doing this route, because after Route 42, Suicune's gonna go back to 10 Tower, and right before that, you have to run into the 3 stages. I call them the Royal Guard.
Yeah, so that is basically how it works. So you defeat Ucine in Cyanwood, at the top of Cyanwood, then Suicune will appear on Route 42. Now normally this chain, in Vanilla, it's a little bit longer. However, here we just see Suicune on Route 42. And interestingly enough, we do actually, due to the wording of the goal, it's pretty vague. So if you actually find a wild Suicune, say in the water or the grass, on Route 42, that also does satisfy the criteria. However, that is pretty rare.
Wow.
Anyway, we're coming up to the shiny, so place your bets. What do you think the shiny Pokemon is? I am not going to cheat, and instead I'm going to guess that it's going to be a Wooper.
You know what? Artillery. Let's give him a look. It's going to be on the card. Wow.
And, unfortunately, we were both wrong. I actually already knew we were wrong because I saw Bakura mark Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres ahead of time.
Of course.
We got a bit of commentators' insider information, being in the Bingo Sync room. But yeah, that static Articuno, though, is going to be absolutely massive. We already had Zapdos info, but for Improv, who does not have the Zapdos info, that's just, it's a free goal. And also Bakura, it's a free goal for him too. He doesn't have to go look for it, so this is going to be, we might actually see a sub 110. Like, that's crazy, but like, it's possible. What does Bakura need to finish? Bakura needs the Steelix, well, actually, no, the Skarmory. This doesn't need the Steelix. Skarmory is 2 bingos right there, so.
Right.
Yeah, the Skarmory. He's defeated Swimmer, so he probably will get the Clefable or Wigglytuff. And that's row 2. 90 different Pokemon seen is usually free. Then what? We might
probably setting up for row 3. Or not row 3, column 3.
I don't imagine we'll see him setting up for column 3. He does not have Houndour Snubble info. But column 4 is definitely viable. Either that, or I mean, Bakura could also very well just be getting Rising Badge. Rising Badge is also a perfectly viable way to finish. Black Belt for Kadabra, Fable Wigglytuff Rising Badge. He'll have to deck some information first, see if that Skarmory is in fact doable, because if it's not, then that is actually pretty significant. But in the interim, he's going to be picking up the Sunny Day TM from the middle of the radio tower.
Yeah, because there's an element of RNG here. If he does get stuck, he might meta and try to backtrack where Improv is. That'll be the real challenge. So exactly where he found the Houndour Snubble info.
Yeah, but I mean, it's here's the thing: when you're up against someone who's is going to be behind you, you don't know how far behind they are usually. So it could. As far as Bakura is concerned, Improv could be anywhere. Literally anywhere. Anyway, looking at that Skarmory, it's doable, but that is not the best location, but it's definitely doable. Bakura is going to be making great use of the Dex Area Beep feature in order to find the Skarmory. It'll tell him exactly where he needs to look. And now he just has to pray that it's not in the grass. And unfortunately, it does not seem to be in the cave, so now it's... It potentially could be in the grass, or it could be in the water. The grass and the water are actually on the same map, so... It's, at this point, it's 3 in 10 to be in the water. Hey, speaking of steel types...
Improv struggling with one right now.
Yeah, and if Bakura's really desperate, he could catch the Magneton. Although, if you're going for the Skarmory, there isn't much need. But speaking of things, I guarantee Bakura's going to catch this Pikachu. And he is definitely going to name it. Meanwhile, Improv, wiping to the Steelix. I wasn't actually looking to see what the Steelix was using, but that is definitely going to be a bit of trouble just because of Improv's massively lower level. And to combat that, Improv chooses to sell the rare candy. Yeah, So Bakura has a Pikachu now. Oh, Bakura is going for the Surfing Pikachu sprite, of course. But the problem is... Oh no, it does work. I was thinking, oh, might run into issues because you got Surfing Dragon also, but no, Pikachu takes priority, it seems. So yeah, there's the very rare Surfing Pikachu sprite that not many people know exists.
It's a bit of a surprise to me here. I'm enjoying seeing it.
But there we see the sad truth. Miltank, Pikachu, Magneton. The Skarmory that we're looking for is, in fact, in the grass instead. So, Bakura will have to go through Union Cave. It's not that much slower, it's just annoying more so than slow. Waste a few minutes, but... It being such a critical goal, it's not really much you can do about it. Meanwhile, Improv, trying to heal, still level 17 against the Steelix, and that's the problem. Yes, I see the problem. Steelix is one of the greatest physically bulky Pokemon, with that Steel-type resisting so many physical types, and you're being lower level, you are basically never going to kill it with Double Edge. This is definitely where you want something like Surf, or maybe Improv still has that Blizzard TM, so it could definitely be a problem. Now, based on a commentated erase of Improv's, an earlier race of hers, and it looks like she just personally opts to not actually change up the moveset on the Pokemon she runs. She definitely prefers a bit more of a casual playing, so this could definitely wall her for quite a while. Bakura, on the other hand, finds a Suicune. That's, well, it's not on Route 42, and we don't exactly need it, so it's always fun to find these random legendaries in the grass, though.
Get the Skarmory. There we go.
Yeah. And through sheer force of will, Improv does manage to get through that Skarmory. So, I don't recall. Okay, yeah, it was a Wobbuffet, yeah. A Wobbuffet with Psychic, that was Whitney's ace. And what else does it have? Only looks like it has Psychic. Now, due to the large level difference, you definitely will probably want to heal that. Looks like she was trying to get the boost from Ancient Power. I don't think the boost would have actually saved her. Unfortunately, I think her only hope was to get a crit Double Edge, but maybe Kenya can help. Maybe.
Ooh. Only chip damage.
Yeah, that first miss of Mega Kick really hurt a lot. But hey, this Spinrack has Stab Megahorn. It's a real pity it's never going to get the chance to use it. Yeah, looks like Improv is going to wipe again. I think she saved though, so she should be able to reset and get all of her items back, so she might be able to get through. Bakura, on the other hand, actually going to be climbing actually going to be climbing Sprout Tower. Which, I mean, there's only one reason to climb Sprout Tower at this point, and that's for 4 non-TM non-damaging, so... I'm actually very curious about this play. I would think that Bakura would not need that goal, since I don't think Bakura has Houndour Snubble info. And if you're going for a Rising Badge, you don't need that goal. You just don't. So... yeah, if you're doing Rising Badges, without a doubt faster to get the Wigglytuff and get the Kadabra. Unless he dexed both of those when we weren't looking, and they weren't obtainable. That's the only thing I can think of. Did you notice anything, Lidash?
Didn't really notice. I might have missed when you tried dexing it. But yeah, I didn't notice the Clefable Wigglytuff info.
Fair enough. Actually, we're being told in the chat, Charmeleon's actually on the top floor of Sprout Tower, which, okay, fair enough. If you're getting Charmeleon, yeah, you can do bottom left, top right, call the black belt, that's 3 bingos. Row 2 is a 4th bingo. And then I guess Bakura is going for column 4 and going for Rising Badge skip, which is definitely also completely viable. It all depends on how many normal types Bakura has. Well, we see another Zubat here, so well, if he wasn't getting it earlier, well, you can get it now. Chat is telling us Wigglytuff is only in Whirl Islands and Mount Silver. That is horrible. If that's the case, then yeah. If that's the case, then Bakura definitely needs this, both of these goals. Needs the Charmeleon, needs non-TM, and needs Rising Badge. Unless he plans on pulling something else out of his basket of tricks. Improv opting to teach the Oddish Confuse Ray. An interesting choice. Also opting to heal the Dragonite, since...
I was just looking good for the 4 non-TM, non-damaging moves. Go.
Yeah. I don't know if Bakura has anything for that. But actually, no, it looks like Whitney actually swapped out that Steelix. So. Improv getting through Whitney after a long and a terrible fight, but she's going to be able to progress on to Ekritique. So, unfortunately for Bakura, looks like this Charmeleon just showed up. I was about to say it was a 10%, but commentator's reverse curse, I guess.
Right. Seen too many times like something like this would have taken 4 minutes.
So at this point with the unfortunate Wigglytuff info, Bakura's sub 110 is not going to happen, but I would expect to see Bakura get a sub 120 in this. Unless Rising Badge is absolutely terrible. Meanwhile, it looks like oof, this Poliwhirl that Bakura taught Cut to is actually a contender for 4 non-TM non-damaging. But the catch is, Bakura just has taught Cut to. Now, I think the move deleter is actually in Blackthorn. I might be thinking of mixing up with Crystal Clear, though, a mod. But I think in Vanilla it's in Blackthorn, so theoretically Bakura could just go there anyway and get rid of Cut. Otherwise, you could always just catch another Poliwhirl. Won't take too long. And Bakura is going to be level 34, so Bakura's not even going to be that under-leveled for Claire's gym. Typically, by the time you get to Claire's gym, you're around between level 30 and level, I guess level 30 and level 34. So if you're on the lower end of that spectrum, it's a bit of a problem to fight through it. But in Bakura's case, being on the very high end of the spectrum shouldn't have too much of an issue unless Claire herself, the level 40, is like has stab ice beam. We've actually seen quite a small amount of ice moves, actually.
Yeah, there's every possibility that Jim won't have it.
Yeah, definitely possible. Then again, when you're OHKOing everything and outspeeding, it's kind of hard to get hit by an ice move anyway. So now we see Bakura flying to Lake of Rage. Looks like he's going to be going to Blackthorn now. Meanwhile, here's another rock type that hard walls Dragonite. Improv really regretting not teaching the Hydro Pump now over Horn Attack. Get a quick check of that Kadabra location. It looked like it was doable. Didn't quite check where, but it looked doable. So I really have to hope that Improv is teaches Surf to this Dragonite, just so we don't have to double edge any more Golems or Steelixes.
To be able to really pick up the pace if he gets Surf.
Oh no, why is Improv leveling up this Ivysaur? Please tell me Improv isn't trying to evolve it into Venusaur.
I hope not, because the only thing I can think of is if she's trying to go for the 4 non-TM non-damaging moves,
yeah.
But really the Odyssey is already set up for that.
Yeah, it's this is one of the strats is you just level up a low-level Pokemon that already has a few and just teach it. I hope it learns one more and level up. And it happens more often than you think if you have like a really low-level Pokemon like a bug type or like the early grass, something like that. Meanwhile, Bakura doing exactly what we said, getting rid of Cut, going to be teaching it Flash, and that will be 4 non-TM, non-damaging moves, so... Rising Badge will give Bakura 3 at the moment, plus the Kadabra and Black Belt, and that will be finished for Bakura. Bakura does not even need the normals. And it looks like actually this Kadabra was in Dark Cave, so... And based on that cry, it's in this part of Dark Cave, so...
Very convenient.
No way to know if it's in the water or the ground, but... Who knows? And
wow.
There's a Jigglypuff! Hold up! Immediate route switch, question mark? Because yeah, with this Jigglypuff, you can evolve that, that's 2 more normal types. It's row 2. It's possible Bakura might be able to skip Rising Badge after all. With 7 normals. This is insane. If this gets in right away, then like we could see like a 111, 112, maybe. Actually, I don't know. You have to fight the Black Belt still and catch the Kadabra. Bakura's having a bit of rough ball luck, but crazy. And there's Wild Articuno, just in case you needed another.
Just in case.
And actually, Bakura's opting to leave, probably because he's paralyzed, but also maybe he just doesn't care for catching the Kadabra anymore. It's definitely possible that Bakura might just be opting for Rising Badge. Yeah, because at this point, you don't even need to. At this point, you don't even need to call the Black Belt if you do Rising Badge. Funnily enough, I mean, you will call the Black Belt, but Actually, hold up. Yeah, no. If you're doing Rising Badge, there's no reason to call the Black Belt. So Bakura must be skipping planning on skipping Rising Badge, but I mean, who wouldn't?
Huh.
See, bit of movement to get the Jigglypuff into his party. It's actually holding an item already. As Improv, I didn't see if she taught Surf to the Dragonite. I hope she did.
I hope so.
We find another Goldberry. Incredible.
Always on another card.
And there we have it. We have Wigglytuff, so... With 90 Scene, which Bakura's got 91, that goal is essentially free. And Call a Black Belt. Technically, actually, if Bakura can metagame Houndour Snubble, that's also done right there from column 3. There's the Black Belt, but we'll see how Bakura opts to finish, because at this point Bakura's at 4 bingos, he really just needs anything. I expect it to be either column 4 or Rising Badge. Bakura looks like he's getting called immediately after calling the Black Belt. That's why you always delete the number. And, okay, looks like Bakura is opting for the safe, guaranteed way of Rising Badge, which I definitely don't blame him. At this point, Bakura knows he's completely ahead. There's zero risk, whereas Kadabra could be annoying, could take a while to find, and you still have to get normal types, and I don't think Bakura's kept track of his normal types, so... Meanwhile, there's the Wigglytuff on Improv's side, and Improv has not taught Surf.
Oh no.
Yeah, I, And we see the Dragonite wiping out as Oddish learning Smokescreen. That's... Well, it's a non-damaging move, but Bubble is the big thing that she's got, because Bubble is a speed-reducing move, and I don't know if she has a different other than Bubble. So, you gotta be careful if you get rid of Bubble there. Regardless, Bakura making very quick work of the gym in Blackthorn, Claire's gym. Had a bit of a mind wipe at the moment, but that's a Moltres. Gonna drop to Ancient Power. Nothing so far proving to be difficult, and I mean now the Dragon's even level 36, so nothing will kill this Dragonite bar like an Ice Beam. Or Ancient Power after Recoil, that's also possible. Weezing is definitely, it's got like, what, 110 physical defense? But Bakura's got plenty of revive, so he's fine.
Yeah, only last concern really is anything having Ice Beam and Claire herself.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, it would have to outspeed the Dragonite and have Ice Beam, and like the only thing I can think of that could possibly do that is if the level 40 is like a Mewtwo, but the odds of that are, I mean, 1 in 251, and then the odds of it having Ice Beam or another Ice move is also pretty rough. So what's the record for the fastest completion? So yeah, as Chad is responding to Chad's question, 1:15:15 by Bakura. That is specifically fastest tournament completion time. We have We have actually had a lot faster times in just community races. I think we have 1 or 2 sub-hours, but I mean, those are incredibly rare. But yeah, in the tournament, the fastest time so far has been 1:15:15 by Bakura. And theoretically, this could beat it. We'd have to have a perfect Claire, though. Because, I mean, it is 4 Pokemon, it could take a bit. And you only have like a minute, and you also have to hit the done button and finish on race time, so it's a bit of menuing to do. But to start with, Surf, easy cleanup of the Geodude. Meowth is the level 40, which is not even going to pretend to pose a threat. The next poke is Diglett.
Oh, this might happen.
Oh, but it's got Sing.
Of course.
Unfortunate.
I want to wake up.
Oh, wow, that is an incredibly lucky wake up. And then Ganma, which is going to drop to Ancient Power. That is, if he doesn't hit himself in the Infusion, that is an incredibly fortunate Claire.
Oh.
But with that, Bakura is going to be, it's going to be taking that out. So,
Now it's just hitting the done button at this point.
Yeah. Bakura picks up the Rising Badge. I'll be marking it shortly. And Bakura finishes with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 5 seconds. So a new fastest completion in the tournament by 10 seconds. So GG's to Bakura. We're gonna see if we can get him in for a bit of an interview now. And we're joined by Bakura. How are you?
Hello, I'm annoyed.
Bakura.
Congrats on the new fastest finish of the tournament so far.
Yes, congratulations.
I'm so annoyed by that Jigglypuff.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
we saw that.
Like when I saw the Skarmory, I was like, oh, I have my path. It involves rising, but whatever, I'll just do it. And then Wigglytuff exists only in Motor Emblem Islands. I'm like, oh, you know what? I can do this. I'm just gonna get Ferret Kadabra and 4 non-TM non-damaging and Rising Badge. And I look for the Kadabra and the bloody Jigglypuff turns up, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's amazing. You actually finished with 6 bingos even.
Yeah, I could have. Wait, could I? No, I could have skipped Black Belt.
Yeah, we were wondering if you were maybe gonna skip Rising Badge and go for column 4, but we weren't sure how many normal types you had.
I have like 2, and I kinda was thinking of metagaming the Houndour with Snubble, but I was looking at the bingo room and it was just too much for me. So
where's your guess as to where Houndour Snubble is?
Well, here's my thing. She marked 7 different berries, and like 2 minutes later she marked Houndour with Snubble. So my guess would be it's around Goldenrod. So I want to say 36, 35 maybe.
You're close actually. It was actually in the contest.
It was in the contest. Yeah, I was afraid for that because I just instantly quit out of it. I didn't want to waste time in it.
Yeah, that's perfectly fair.
But
So Improv making her way through Morty's gym. She's still very under-leveled.
Let me, she's only at Morty's gym? Oh, I feel bad.
Yeah, she's been having a lot of trouble. She, did not teach Surf or Hydro Pump to the Dragonite, so she's been having to double-edge all the Golems and Steelixes, and there have been a lot.
Oh, I was very happy with Hydro Pump. I was
Hydro
very
Pump
happy.
saved that Dragonite's moveset, as Improv has been demonstrating. And also, she's just very underleveled because she slapped both EXP shares on other Pokemon. But anyway, let's talk about your path through this, as Improv has to double-edge yet another Rhyhorn. So yeah, you got the Dragonite, and you see its moveset. What were your first thoughts on that?
Blitz, 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 blitz.
Perfectly fair.
No, I knew it. I love Double Edge, and it had ancient power, so I'm like, I just need something for rock rounds, and I'm good. And then I learned Hydro Pump. So.
Yeah.
I was annoyed by the first thing because I saw the Sunflora, and I immediately said to myself, "Watch Sky Attack miss, and this thing is Ice Beam Blizzard." And what would you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, fortunately, it looked like that's the only thing we've seen that has an ice move on both of your screens. Neither one of you run into another ice move, which is pretty crazy.
That's good. That's good.
So,
but yeah, I think it would have been quicker if Info was a little bit more friendlier. Like, have to go for Skarmory to Runes of Elfgrass, so just annoying, out of my way. Charmeleon on second floor of Tin. Blech.
Yeah. But still, you finished pretty quickly, and information was pretty convenient.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now, unfortunately, we do see Improv forfeiting the race. So, it's understandable. It will take her quite a lot of time to finish at this point, so... I expect her to... Meanwhile, Ladash, do you have any questions for Bakura?
How did you feel getting that Skarmory info?
Oh, that saved my everything, because I only had Steel type at that moment, and I could get like 3 bingos at that time, and I was trying to avoid Rising Badge, and then the Skarmory info popped up, and I'm like, okay, this finishes me basically.
Yeah, it was really fortunate, because especially since the Wigglytuff, before you found Jigglypuff, that is, it didn't exist. So without that Skarmory,
yeah, I was thinking because I can either do Prize and go to Will Islands because I do know my way there in the dark, or I can, because I was thinking about it while looking for the Charmeleon, or I can check what I have on my party for 4 non-TM non-damaging, and lucky enough the Poliwhirl had it. So I'm like, okay, just get rid of Cut and teach Flash. And then get the Kadabra and I'm set, but didn't have to do that.
Yeah. Well, we are now joined by cdinprov, so how are you feeling about this?
Oh, I was just waiting for him to be done. I mean, it's my first tournament with you guys, and I get matched with some very exceptional people, so it's been a lot of fun, though.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at it going,
CDN, I got a Pikachu now, I found one!
Oh, good job!
It wasn't Runes of Elf Water while I was looking for the Skarmory, I'm so happy!
When I saw you pull out the surfing Pikachu, I was like, that was my first time seeing that.
Yeah, I had to do that for the people at home. I'm like, I'm the Pikachu guy, like, I gotta show my boy.
It's awesome, there you go.
Yeah, it was very hype. But yeah, Cdin, let's
The CD works.
Okay, CD, sorry.
It's okay.
So yeah, when you let's just talk about your fight through this. So yeah, you struggled a little bit with your Dragonite. How do you feel about it?
Well, I think Snorlax is still my favorite thing that I've run. He was awesome last night. Once I got leftovers, I was like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I think the Ivysaur was a jerk.
Yeah, we saw it bullied you for quite a while. Didn't get in.
I'm just going get in the Pokeball. I can't hit you. Get in the Pokeball, and it wouldn't listen. So I was a little bit frustrated with that one.
I do have one question for you, and that's your choice of not teaching Hydro Pump.
Oh yeah, I was kind of thinking about it. And I was like, well, I only get 5 there, so I figured I'd stick with Sky Attack, though. Maybe Hydro Pump would have probably been better.
Hydro Pump over Horn Attack would have helped you immensely.
Yeah, see, I don't really have a ton of time, so it's kind of like I sometimes I wish that I had time to devote to learning what everything does and all that stuff, but I don't. So it's one of those hi guys. Sorry, I turned my chat back on. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, when I play any of the vanilla games, I put up a disclaimer that says, pretty much says, yes, I know I'm bad at this, but that's the fun part.
Aww.
So please just let me, futz
That's
my way
fair.
through it.
And
It's fun.
yeah, we really appreciate you joining our tournament because yeah, if we just have the same like what 10 or 12 top
Mhm.
runners every time, well then like, okay, well we
Yeah.
already know each other. Might as well just play
Oh.
casual tournament or
Yeah.
casual races. But
Mhm.
having all these newer runners and enlarging the community, it really makes
It's a
these
lot of
tournaments
fun.
special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of these days I might actually have time to hop in one of the casual races and just joke around and stuff. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Everybody's been really, really nice. So, it's been a really good experience the whole way around.
So
And I got to play Pokemon, so
yeah. So did you have any questions, CD, about just the card or the ROM?
No, I actually like this one. It was like, here, have every experience share on the face of the planet.
Oh, yeah, we found a lot of them early
There were
on.
3 of them. I've got 3 people in my party right now who are they've all got experience shares. So it's like, why
you
not?
have 3. Oh, I knew you
I have
had at least
3.
2. I didn't realize you had 3.
There's
yet,
3.
'cause-
I've got one
Yeah.
on Oddish, Spinarak, and Kenya.
yeah,
Not Kenya,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Ivysaur. Kenya, though, I was gonna Kenya, and I'm just going. Because she's got Sweet Scent, Reversal Splash, and Mega Kick, and I couldn't remember if Reversal counted as one of the ones that didn't cause damage, but I was going, if that's on the list, then I'm going back to get Flash. I'm gonna teach Flash over Mega Kick.
Reversal is a damaging move, unfortunately.
Oh, it is? Yeah, see, I hardly ever see that one, so... I wasn't sure, but I was gonna check the list before I did it anyway. Because I was like, oh, that's close. And then, I think Ivysaur was close too, but I just didn't have anybody that had, not many damaging moves.
Yeah, fair enough.
kind of a
It's
shame.
generally a pretty difficult goal. Meanwhile, Backer, do you have any final comments before we wrap this up?
I was really scared because you know what goal I'm talking about when I saw it, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be one of those. But
Yeah.
hey, I didn't need Ferricadera, so But no, it was.
No, didn't you see, wasn't there, the
so
thing
CDN,
that burnt-
this
Yeah.
no, this was my thing. So my path was get the Wigglytuff. So I
Mhm.
dex the Wigglytuff. It's in Mount Mortar and Will Islands. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
you know what? I'll just get the Kadabra, get the TLBR, and the 4 non-TM non-damaging on Rising Badge and be done. And I go in Dark Cave where it is. I go in the water, and first thing I see is a Jigglypuff, and I'm like, oh, I hate it here.
Yeah. Oh. Well,
But
I
yeah.
mean, it was better than I seeing that. Oh, hey, there's a hole in the water. Huh.
Well, regardless, this was, correct me if I'm wrong, but Backer, this was your last match of the group stage, right?
Yes,
And you've went 4-0, correct?
I believe so. Yes.
Congratulations. So yeah, you will be having one of the top seeds for
Yay!
brackets.
I'm a gamer. Hooray!
and with that, let's plug our sponsors and our runners and our commentators, because yeah, shout out to SpeedGaming, because without them we would not have a place to showcase these incredible matches. And feel free to follow our runners, Lord Bakura and cdinprov.
Yeah.
Just be warned, I'm incredibly bad at most video games.
And
But that's the fun part.
and if you are looking for more Pokemon Crystal content, we don't have any more matches today, but tomorrow our first match is at 2 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to be Garfield the Lightning versus Dylan is my name. Both runners very well experienced and been in the community for a long time, so that's going to be a very, very hype race. And also later on tomorrow, we actually have a lot of matches tomorrow, it seems. But if you're actually interested in the Spanish Pokemon Crystal community, we actually have a match between Waista and I'm gonna probably pronounce this wrong, and I apologize, but Diego Lazo. And that match, if I'm not wrong, is actually going to be restreamed on SpeedGaming Espanol. So that's at 6:30 Eastern tomorrow. And other than that, throughout the rest of the week, we're going to have plenty more matches from the group stage. So with that, I've been Caffeine856, and we'll catch you later.
Thank you
You
so
all
much
later.
for the race. Bye bye.
Yep, thanks. GG's. Have a good
Thank you to
night.
both runners.
GG's.